I'm Will, and welcome back to the Board Book Geek. I want to talk about a book that you're either going to love or you're going to hate, and that's Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. It was first published in 2004, and it consists of 6 interconnected stories that take the reader from the remote South Pacific in the 19th century to the island of Hawaii in the distant post-apocalyptic future. The author said that the book is about reincarnation and the universe and human nature and what links us together, and it follows this beautiful piece of music that is written, and then this thing, like these little threads, pull them together. So each one takes you on a different journey. Like I said at the beginning, you have the remote South Pacific in the 19th century. Then you have the 1930s and the young, penniless bisexual English museum and his lover Rufus Sixsmith. Then you have the third story that's written in the style of a thriller, and that's set in California in 1975. Then you have and that moves forward. That goes forward and forward and forward, and the middle section of the book is a comic story in tone, and it's set in Britain in the present day, and it's about 65-year-old vanity press publisher flees Britain, flees the brothers of his gangster client, and that's hilarious. Then you jump ahead into a dystopian futuristic career, which has kind of devolved from a corporate culture, and it's told in the form of an interview between Sumi 451 and an archivist reading her story after her arrest and trial. She is a waitress in a restaurant called Papa Songs, and basically they're clones and they're free labour. They're clones, and it's probably actually the most visually interesting part of the film that they did, but that's a whole different video. But you have this story of her, and she becomes self-aware and chooses to take action, and she dies a martyr. And the final section of the book takes place in a far future, a very far future, in which everything just stops, and you have this part of the story that is just purely this post-apocalyptic. Mankind has formed into a post-apocalyptic society on the big island of Hawaii. His people called the Valley Folk, and that's written in a completely different style. They cannot the way they speak has changed, and the words they use, and actually the evolution of language throughout this book is interesting. This book is an absolutely beautifully written book. It's a beautiful piece of science fiction, it's a beautiful piece of speculative fiction, it's a beautiful piece of historical fiction, and the linking themes are, this is to quote the writer himself, literally all of the main characters except one are reincarnations of the same soul in different bodies throughout the novel, identified by a birthmark. That is really just a symbol of human nature. The title itself, Cloud Atlas, refers to the ever-changing manifestation of the Atlas and its fixed human nature. This book is maybe not the most accessible of his work. David Mitchell is a love it or you hate it writer, and it's strange because I do see a lot of people, there's no middle ground with his work, and it's just a beautiful, powerful, and very profound book, full stop. It left a mark on me when I first read it, and I read it after watching the film, and the film is just as gorgeous. It's one of the highest budget independent films ever made, and I mean, the Wachowskis directed it, and Tom Hanks is in it, and that's, you can't go wrong with that. The film adaptation is beautiful, though it changes the ending slightly, but maybe for the better. I don't know, they're equally as good, but for different reasons, and I adore that. I think when it comes to fiction like this, adult speculative fiction, you will either love it or you'll hate it, but you'll come out the other side in awe of this book if you choose to read it. But if you don't want to read the book, do check out the film. And I will put this out there, the audiobook of this is rather special too. I'm going to put a link down below for an Amazon product, so if you guys want to buy the book, you are more than welcome. Tell me if you've seen the film or you've read it or whatever, because it would be very interesting to find out what you guys think. And like always, I will talk to you later. Bye.